y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, KiaSimone, and child, let's get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am over this birthday bash and brawls already. But before I go off, I hope y'all had an awesome Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas and something like a mamas, especially my mama, the major unspoken sponsor of this channel. Thank you. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Now, before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And of course, I got to shout out my channel supporters. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. On Cash App, Lorenzo Malone and Ashley Hunter, thank y'all so very much. And on my super thanks, Yvette Greer ×2 and Holly Won't He Will. Thank y'all. I truly, truly appreciate everybody who supports the channel, be it monetarily, through a like, a share, a subscribe. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for everything that y'all do to support me. I appreciate y'all. Now, let's get into this. So, of course, the episode opens up back in the middle of this $100,000 party where they clearly forgot the free prayer because they got more fights in a Vegas night. This is a mess. It picks up right in the middle of Kenya telling Sheree that your man was in my DMs, and Sheree saying, all right, I got something for that. Come here, Martell. Now, as Martell is making his way over, all Sheree want to know from Kenya is when was he in your DMs? Because I don't give a damn if he spun your block. I just want to know how long ago it was. Kenya started explaining all kind of shit. Kenya said it was at least 6 months ago. It was definitely before you. I just don't want you hearing it from anyone else. I don't want you to think I wasn't being truthful. I mean, and if it was something about a guy that I was dealing with, I would want to hear it. Now, you know you's a damn lie. Then we cut over to Sanya over trying to stop Candy and Courtney from tearing up her $100,000 party. All you hear is Candy, bitch. You know what? Todd confusing them up. Todd so damn confused. You can see Todd looking around. He don't know what's going on. All he knows, he got to keep his wife out of jail tonight. Somebody made the mistake of asking Candy what happened. Candy said she keep bouncing in my face. Candy was in rare form. Candy wanted to whoop her ass. Marlo standing around peeping over her shoulder like she trying to get pay-per-view tea for free. Like you do know you're on the guest list for this party. If you want to be in the mix, just turn around. So we cut back over to Martell in the Lion's Den with Kenya, Sheree, and Manya. Now, as he's walking up on them, Manya's husband is sitting in the background laughing his ass off. One thing he gonna do is get him some good live entertainment when they act an ass. So Sheree is just smiling at Martell, and she said, well, they pulled me aside to tell me that you're dating some other girl in Atlanta. Now, rather than just say that ain't true, Martell's old lying, denied face ass comes with his typical bullshit. He says, every time I come to Atlanta, I'm always with you, so the other girl's getting the short end of the stick. Well, the stick may be short, but she's getting it nonetheless. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. Sheree said this is the work of Candy and her minions who thought they had some tea on Martell. I mean, because what else would they be doing if they weren't talking about her? Okay. She said, we're wearing feathers. We're not ruffling them. Not tonight. The only feathers we'll be ruffling is my tail feathers when I shake them on them this evening. Martell said, yeah, we ain't got to worry about whoever y'all talking about. Manya said, oh, so she's not existent anymore. Martell said, we won't say anymore. We'll say, Manya said, ever. Like lie. I dare you to lie. He said, we'll say period. Manya said, oh, okay, bet. Say less. 1 second. Here comes Exhibit A. So we cut back over to Sanya explaining to Courtney where she had Candy fucked up. And then she goes to check on Candy. That's all Courtney need to know is you had Candy fucked up. So Sanya runs over to Candy. Are you okay? Are you okay? Candy is looking at her with eyes that scream, I'm about to snap, crackle, and pop about I'm fine. So she asked Sanya, she said, why would she keep bouncing in my face like that? Sanya said, I don't know. I just met this girl with Sheree the other day. I don't know her like that. Now, lady, look what you done started. Don't nobody want to claim you. Now, don't nobody know this lady? Candy is looking at Sanya like she's trying to decide if she should give her Courtney's ass whooping. Don Juan is off to the side feeding the bull about, yeah, that's why she was bouncing like that because she's Sheree's friend. That's why. Could you go to hell? He just annoys me. Like, just why are you here? Candy said in the confessional she's actually kind of annoyed with Sanya because why would you invite me to this party and invite this girl knowing that she has an issue with me and let me walk into some mess? And I feel her on that. When you know this person got a problem with me, don't walk me up in there because it ain't going to go like you think it's going to go. Now, I do want to know what in the Austin Powers costume hell is Candy wearing in that confessional? Who is in charge of her wigs? Because whoever it is don't like her. Meanwhile, we see Ralph the runaway over gifting Ross cigars for his birthday while his damn family home on the sick and shut-in list. He just having the time of his married bachelor life. So now that Sanya has Candy under some kind of control, she runs over to Sheree, interrupts this whole expose moment to say, hey, your girl over here starting shit. She said, listen, Candy was about to fight Courtney and Candy just walked out. Sheree looked shocked. Yeah, come get your damn friend. You can worry about this dog getting out the yard later. Come get them before they tear up my damn party. So, of course, Sanya takes the group of ladies over to Candy and they start what's going on? So Candy starts telling them what happened, and Monyetta and Kenya agree that Courtney is very animated when she speaks. Marlo is off having the time of her damn life. This is heaven for her. Fights all over the place, money being thrown around. This is the life. Marlo said, now how am I the only one behaving? Therapy works. Y'all should seek it. Girl, you in your element. So Courtney is walking up to the group just as Sheree is trying to find out from Candy what exactly happened. Candy said, we ain't got to relive that right now. In other words, I don't even feel like telling that story because I'm going to end up tapping her ass. So out of nowhere, Sanya pops back up in a new dress while she changed her dress to change the vibe. Girl, good luck. Sheree picked her right back up where she left off before they were so rudely interrupted. Girl, we was trying to handle our drama before you brought us yours. This your damn party. You ain't got no security in that $100,000? Give a damn they about to fight. Sheree said, so you know the girls pulled me aside to tell me that Martell was dating someone in Atlanta. Candy said, well, you always said, you wanted to know. Sheree said, I do. But I don't want partial stories. Don't come to me with parts of tea. If you don't have all the tea and all the receipts, don't bring me half a story. I said, you better protect your dog at all costs. At that point, Sanya got up and went stomping out. Kenya said, why are you leaving? She said, because it's my husband's birthday. It's about him. I ain't got time for this bullshit. And I guess she's no longer needed because Candy has calmed completely down. I guess minding other people's business will do that for you. So Candy picked up her spoon and started stirring the pot. She said, not that it matters, but how do you feel about him sliding in her DMs? They start explaining to Sheree that Martell sent Kenya a message that she never accepted or read because she doesn't follow Martell. Martell comes over and they start showing Inspector Gadget his digital footprint. So Sheree is showing Martell where he supposedly sent Kenya a message. Monyetta adds, and the message was erased. And Martell starts stuttering. This yours? Can she talk? Here we go with the bullshit. So Kenya kind of laughingly says, you're so aggressive, Martell. I'm scared of you. Martell said, well, I guess when someone's accusing you of something, you can defend yourself. Kenya said, I'm not accusing you of anything. Martell turns to Sheree and said, go to her messages right now. I bet you she accepted everybody sent her. See, first of all, you have every right to defend yourself. The issue is you don't defend yourself, you get defensive. And when you get defensive, you become offensive. And you start saying all kind of wild out your mouth. That's the problem. And even if she did accept every message that came through her DMs, she didn't accept yours. So what does that say about you? Kenya said, hold on, who he talking about? You talking about me? Sheree, girl, it's just, no, get your dog. So Martell walks off. Kenya said, now he just insulted me, saying I probably accept everybody's message. He said, where is the message? She said, are you denying that you sent it? He said, yeah, I'm denying it. Candy said, he said he denying it. Pull it up. Martell got nervous and pulled his own damn phone out. Let me check, because you know I be lying. Oh, shit, yeah, I did DM you. Yeah, I did. He said, I did DM you. I'm sorry like a motherfucker. That was 2 years ago. I did DM you. So they show us this message from August 2020 that Martell sent to Kenya that said, I appreciate the kind words when you were live with whoever, because they blacked it out. Now, I don't know what Kenya done say about the motherfucker, but his point is that this message was sent 2 years ago, not 6 months ago like Kenya is claiming. Candy says she don't give a damn about none of that. Him showing his version of the DMs means absolutely nothing to her because for all she know, he deleted the last message he sent. So back at the table, they're going back and forth about this timeline, and Kenya said, whenever it was, you did it. Martell said, I don't care if I was trying to fuck you 2 years ago. Why are you talking about it? Oh, motherfucker, no. Because, bitch, who you talking to? Kenya is absolutely pissed off. She jumps up to confront Martell. Excuse me? Sheree said, oh, no. We can't do this. Yes, we can. Get your man. Now, is Kenya absolutely messy? Hell yeah. Kenya is absolutely messy for everything about how she decided to bring this to Sheree. But for Martell, all it took was a yeah. I sent her a message. It wasn't anything that deep. It was long before Sheree and I met. And even if I was interested at that time, at this point, I've met Sheree. We're dating. I really enjoy her. And so whatever interest I had is gone. And that's why they're talking about it, so that everybody knows that you were shopping this peen around. Sheree just thinks she run an SPCA and like to pick up stray dogs. So at this point, Kenya is in Martell's face. Did you just curse at me? What do you say to this queen standing in front of you? So Martell is yelling about, you said 6 months ago. Kenya is going off about, you're an asshole. You did it to your ex-wife and you're going to do it to Sheree. Now, this is true, but I just be wondering, why does Kenya have all the smoke for everybody else's man? Everybody else's piece of man can get a piece of Kenya's mind except that damn Mark. Why? Kenya's steady screaming about once a cheater, always a cheater, you piece of shit. So Martell walks off and Kenya is yelling at Sheree that this is the same type of man you dealt with before. He is just like Bob. Kenya said the point is he's talking to me like he's going to eventually talk to you. Sheree said, I'm going to get him straight. But the problem for me is y'all are trying to create a narrative behind some shit that happened 2 years ago and for him saying thank you for your kind words. Kenya said, girl, please. Candy said, it's not that deep though. Sheree said, exactly. It ain't that deep. And if it ain't that deep, then why bring it up? Kenya said, because a DM is trying to open conversation. That's why. Well, that's true. But the problem is, if this man DM'd you all this time ago, and we done seen this man FaceTime Sheree on last year's reunion, we done seen Sheree meet up with the paparazzi in Atlanta to announce that she's dating Martell. We've seen the pictures all over Instagram. Why didn't you go to her directly and privately at some point before this party and say, girl, you know this man you frolicking around with was in my DMs? Why didn't you go to her? Because for you to go to everybody in the group and then wait until y'all are at a party and she brings him to the party, it makes your motives look questionable. Like, why now? Sheree in the confessional says she is very heated. All she wanted to do was bring her guy to meet her girls who've been asking about him. Well, girl, you should have known better. Like, what did you expect? You think they want to just see the dog in person and pet it? Like, what did you expect? A good man can barely survive a meet and greet with girlfriends. You gonna take this dog? Sheree says she does not appreciate Kenya trying to embarrass her or Martell at this party. Kenya says she just ready to go. Now that they done tore up this lady's event and ended it with a bang, everybody heads to their cars, they all go home. Just bye. So Sheree and Martell are in the car leaving and he starts explaining that he was so offended that they would lie like that. I mean, he just met them. Well, sir, didn't you pull out your phone and prove that you had DM'd the lady at some point? Martell said, just like they want respect, they gotta respect me too. Just like they're queens, I'm a king too. Don't lie on me. And I'm not gonna apologize for what I said because I meant it. Well, all right. So we move on and we see that Ralph the runaway has made it home. He's at home with one of his and Drew's kids. And Drew and the other kids come home from being out of town. Drew was apparently in Chicago visiting her father who is sick. He has Alzheimer's. And she's explaining that his condition has gotten worse, that when he went into the facility, he was walking on his own, but now he's in a wheelchair. He doesn't really remember her. So, of course, that made her very emotional. She said, but she did play a song for him that she and Ralph had recently produced, and it brought his memory of her back because that's the bond that they share is music. So that, of course, leads Drew and Ralph into the conversation of Drew doing new music. And Ralph is encouraging her by telling her that she's worked very hard to get to this point of being able to release new music. But she said she's kind of nervous about it because it's never really panned out. Every time she tried to do it in the past, she kind of lost her confidence. So Ralph starts saying, first and foremost, you're extremely talented, babe. And I want to be able to nurture your gift. I said, now what Natasha and Rocky is going on here? Drew said, while she is an actress, music is her passion. It's the thing she's always wanted to do. She's been signed to a bunch of labels, but it never actually happened for her. She said that most recently she released a new single written and produced by her husband, Ralph Pittman. This why this motherfucker talking to you nice. He all on the cover of the damn, like, why are you in the visuals? What in the Puff Daddy hell is going on here? So the producer asked her, are you and Ralph in a good place at this moment? She said, we are, we're really in a good place. Well, y'all don't stay in a good place long, because y'all done pull the Fast and the Furious down to the courthouse. So she asked him about Ross's party. How did it go? I was fresh to death. She said, did anybody try to hit on you? That's all she want to know. She know you a hoe. Did anybody try to hit? Who number you got? He tells her about meeting Courtney and finding out that she's his cousin. You better check that damn family tree. I don't trust Ralph worth a damn, and that Courtney ain't wrapped too tight either. So Courtney is in the confessional trying to explain how they're related, about her dad's sister is Ralph's grand aunt. If you don't get us off this mulberry bush of bullshit, I wouldn't buy this cousin story if they were selling it 2 for 1. Go to hell. Drew floated right on past that. She said, well, what happened with Candy? I saw it all over the internet. Who made Candy mad? He said, I heard it was my new cousin. Drew said, so your cousin was trying to fight Candy? Y'all must be related for real, because that's running y'all family, girl. Ralph started that uncomfortable laughing. Yeah, and you know Drew done going around the internet saying he pushed her or some shit. So we move on. We see Sanya and Candy getting together for lunch to catch up. Candy comes in and you can tell Sanya thinks Candy is annoyed. She said, are you okay? Are you tired? Candy says she just tired. You know, she got 1,000 jobs and this is one of them. So they caught up about a recent trip that they went on. Apparently they took their families to Disney. Sanya said Candy sent a text to the entire group saying that they were going to take their kids to Disney and invited everyone to go. She said she was the only one to respond. She said they had a great time and she asked Candy, when's the next trip? Candy said, I ain't got time for another trip. Candy ran down all the stuff she got to do and all the reasons she can't go and asked Sanya, well, how's your family doing? She said, well, her family is trying to pack up and ship out. Ross wants the people out his house. He's trying to be the king of his own castle and the people want to get out the house. Her mama want to leave and go to Florida. Her sister been over her bullshit. And she just don't understand why everybody don't want to be one big happy family. I think the thing is Sanya is used to this dynamic because they've always done this dynamic when she was the family business. And she's kind of not the family business anymore. So now everybody wants to go and do their own things. And I don't think it's registering to her. Sanya says she's conflicted between wanting to respect her husband's wishes and wanting her family to still be together because she feels like as a family unit, they still have all this untapped potential. But it doesn't sound like the family wants to be there. It sounds like you're the only one that still has this dream. So Sanya asked her, well, what's going on at your house? She said, girl, Todd got 1,000,001 projects and I'm tired. And she starts explaining that they bumped heads because Todd always has to put everything into me and now he's wanting me to put a bunch of energy into him, but I'm busy. Candy said he's been wanting to produce a movie for a minute now and he wants me to get behind it 100%. But it's real easy for me to get caught up in my days. So if it's one thing Sanya gonna do is agree with you. Sanya said, yeah, I mean, it's like they don't express exactly what they want, so we don't know what they want, and then it's easy to get caught up in our own stuff, but that's not what's going on here. He expressed very clearly what he wanted, and she's very clearly just saying, I don't have time to give it to you. Candy said in the confessional, she just wants her husband to understand that she's doing the very best that she can. She does understand how he feels, and she's trying to be sensitive to his feelings. Now, is she going to make time to help the man? I think that's going to be a hell no. But she wants you to know she understands how you feel. So then Sanya brought up the party and asked Candy, did you enjoy the party? And she said, well, yeah, except. Sanya said, yeah, about that. Let me tell you what happened before the party. So Sanya starts explaining that, yeah, I was at Sheree's house when Courtney came over. She starts telling this story about some place that both of y'all go to, that the people had invited you out. You posted the place on your Instagram and brought the hood out. Candy said, what? Sanya said, yeah, she was talking about that's why you make the kind of content you make. Then they showed us the clip of them actually talking. And Courtney is saying how, remember when this one place was like popping? And Sheree is saying, yeah, it was a strict something. I don't know if it was a strict dress code, a strict, I don't know what they had that was strict. But apparently Candy done it up. She said, yeah, she shared it on her Instagram. And the next week, the crowd Ghetto. I can't stand an old elitist clout chasing girl. Sit your don't nobody know you down. Y'all know that Ghetto is a trigger for me. Don't play with me, y'all. Candy Candy said, well, when she sat up there talking to you and said that I was ghetto, what did you say? I said, now there's $1 million question. What you say? Sanya said, I said, Candy is my friend and you need to have a conversation with her. And she said she would. That sound like a damn lie. Candy said, so you didn't take up for me. Sanya said, I mean, well, that would be a no. And of course they showed the footage of her falling out laughing. You didn't say a mumbling word in her defense. She said, no, I did. I feel like I did. Candy in the confessional says she seriously doubts that Sanya had her back. And she's right, because Sanya is in the confessional telling a bunch of bullshit lies about, I mean, honestly, I didn't think she was calling Candy ghetto. I thought she was referring to her being worldwide from last year. And, you know, the folks that she brought out didn't look that worldwide. What? Y'all done lost y'all damn mind. Candy says she's pretty sure Sanya is full of shit because she over there kicking it with Sheree and Marlo and she know how they get down. And you probably over there tee-hee-hee-kee-keying with them. So back at the table, Candy said, and that was you taking up for me when somebody called me ghetto? Sanya said, I mean, but she didn't call you ghetto. She called your followers ghetto. Girl, just the fuck. You really think you gonna sit up on this TV and shade y'all's followers? Candy said these fake classy bitches kill me. Girl, and me too. So then we move on to Sanya's house where she is at home with her baby, but her husband is not. He's off in Austin, Texas, where they moved from. He's apparently checking on the car business that they left back there. And Sanya brings up the conversation of how are we supposed to be working on baby number 2 and you ain't never home to work on baby number 2. Now, I didn't want to say nothing last season because, you know, I really like them as a couple. And, you know, I really hope the best for them. But soon as he was talking that bullshit about having to be in Texas all the time and I need to go back to Texas to run the business, I've been side-eyeing that bullshit. Okay, that never sat right with me. I'm going to go ahead and say I feel like something in the milk ain't clean. Something ain't right here. Now, do I hope the absolute best for them? Yes. But I don't know. Ross just is something about Ross that's a little more than quiet. It's bordering on withdrawn. So on the phone, Sanya is saying to him, I can't even get a FaceTime with my man, much less baby time. This man says, well, I mean, I love to practice. Practice makes perfect. She said, but we can't practice with you there. Well, who is he practicing with? So Sanya's in the confessional saying that she's in a good place. She's on board about baby number 2. And you know, Ross had to talk her into that last season. But now, Ross ain't nowhere to be found. He ain't never home. So she's starting to second guess if this is the right decision for them. Well, ain't nothing to second guess if y'all ain't doing the do to make the baby in the first damn place. Let me tell you something. When all that bunch of making all the excuses in the world and never come home starts happening, all the red flags need to be flying. He hit her with some old, it'll make the game sweeter bullshit. If you don't take that absence makes the heart grow fond of bullshit and go buy you a bus ticket home. So we move on and we see Candy and Todd. They are doing a new menu tasting at one of their restaurants. So they come in and sit down and the first thing Candy tells Todd is he did an amazing job putting this restaurant together, but for some reason, it's just not connecting like their other one is. Todd said, I mean, yeah, but it could still pop. Candy said when they first opened Blaze, it was in what was a hot area, but after the panorama happened, not so much. So they basically had to rebuild. I guess they're doing a new menu and they're going to be tasting the food. So while they're waiting on the food to come out, Todd asked Candy, are you ready for this Mexican restaurant? Candy said, no, I'm not. Why do you keep opening more restaurants? Todd said, because I've made more money than I've ever made in my life off of restaurants. Candy said, so it's a money thing. He said, yeah. Basically, what you thought? Candy said what she thought was that his passion was his creative ideas, like the TV show and movie ideas. He said that's what I want to do, but the restaurants are making the money. So what I could do is generate these restaurants that can generate the money that will fund the movies I want to generate. Yeah, Candy, he's working on his exit strategy. So he's about to open up a Mexican restaurant. He's going to open up a pizza spot. He said he don't discriminate. He want everybody damn money. So then we see Candy's cousin, who is the cook for her restaurant, arrive with his arm in a sling. So they sit down and start talking about the food that they're getting ready to try. They bring out the food that looks, I mean, pretty standard to me. I don't see nothing special. They start tasting the food and the producer say, hey, excuse me, because this here is some bullshit. Y'all ain't about to waste our damn time. Are y'all not going to talk about the elephant in the room? They're looking at the producer like the producer is crazy. Like, well, what you talking about? Ain't this man armed in a sling because he got shot up in y'all restaurant? Candy said, we're not talking about that. Todd said, because it's a legal situation. The producer said, okay, all right. Y'all don't want to talk about it? We'll get the motherfuckers who were on the internet talking about it. They plaster all the blog headlines on the screen about Candy's employee got shot in her restaurant following an argument. I said, just what in the get rich or die trying is going on here? Kenya said in the confessional that we know that the crime rate in Atlanta is rising, but we don't want that to be at any of Candy's restaurants. Sanya said, I mean, it's just the scariest thing in the world to hear that happened at your business. Sheree said, we don't know if when we go to Old Lady Gang, if we gonna get biscuits or bullets. I said, okay. When I tell you I hollered, oh my God. So Todd is explaining to the producer that because it is still a legal situation, he doesn't want to misspeak on the situation. And Candy, finally, in the confessional, starts to give us a generic explanation. She said there was a gentleman that worked for her restaurant. He showed up to work late and intoxicated. Him and the cousin got into it. They started getting irate. They went outside, and next thing you know, chitty chitty bang bang. Candy said you don't want to have anything like that associated with any of your businesses, but unfortunately it's been happening a lot more in Atlanta. But the good thing for them is even though they chitty chitty bang banging at her restaurant, it has not deterred business. So we move on and we see that Kenya is having a play date with, I guess, who's going to be a new housewife, a friend of the show, somebody. Her name is Akila. She's married to a football player. She got a cute little girl. And she and Kenya's daughters are best friends. So they play some tennis with their girls and then they sit down to catch up on gossip because, I mean, anything else would be uncivilized. So they start the conversation bonding over how they're both great moms. And Kenya admits to Akila that she has a beautiful relationship with her husband and that that's actually something that she envies. Kenya says she's just still trying to get divorced from the man of her nightmares. Akila said, but Kenya, you've been so happy during this period. She said, well, yeah, that might have to do with another man. Kenya's in the confessional saying how this guy is just everything and she's kind of crazy about him. Kenya, you always are. And Akila reminded her that if this man is your guy, that's great. If he's not, baby, it's a big ocean out here. Akila said, hell, I'll help you line him up. She said, you gonna take me to some football games? Oh, you ain't that crazy about the damn man no more. So we move on and we see Sanya and Sheree getting together. They're catching up over lunch or dinner or some meal of the day. And Sheree is gushing about being a grandma. She has a 6-month-old grandbaby. She said, I don't call her granny. She too young and fly for that. You know, Sheree don't be claiming the churn and stuff all the time. She don't like all them titles and things. But she's in absolute love with her grandbaby. So they start catching up about the party. Sheree said the party was really nice. What was the budget? She said, girl, there was no budget. Girl, no, you blew your budget for some bitches to come in there and act low budget. So Sanya brought up the whole clash of the titans that happened between Kenya and Martell at the party. And Sheree starts explaining that, yeah, Martell was really offended because he felt ambushed. She said, you know, her problem was that Kenya starts going the route of this whole angry, almost aggressive. Sanya said, yeah, just like she did to Ross. So they're talking about how we can't keep doing that. Sheree said we can't keep putting these labels on these black men. I get what they're saying, but there's a difference in just putting labels on people and using trigger words and dog whistles. But to call a thing is not putting a label on people. Kenya can be provocative. Kenya does get a kick out of provoking people. But in the instance of the Ross situation, he was aggressive to get up and stand up at this table. Don't fuck with my wife. Like, who you talking to? And then Sheree brought up how Martell said to Kenya, I don't care if I was trying to fuck you. It was 2 years ago. And Sanya's just shocked. Yeah, because sometimes the motherfucker's aggressive. Sheree said, don't come to me with no half-ass stories. You come to me, you ain't got no receipts, you ain't got this, you ain't got that. Now, I know he wasn't 100% right, but you got to take accountability for your actions. Sheree said in the confessional that she and Kenya were in a really great place, but after this whole stunt with Martell, she don't know where they stand. Sidebar, I loved that neon look that Sheree was wearing in her confessional. Now, Kenya is an absolutely beautiful woman, but that blonde Farrah Fawcett wig just was not doing it for me. Why? Kenya explains to Akila that she's more mad at Sheree than Martell because Sheree didn't stand up for her as her friend. She said they both have abusive relationships in their past, and she would expect Sheree to stand up and say, listen, don't talk to my friend like that. And of course, they showed us a flashback of Kenya and Madman Matt. That motherfucker was nuts. Broke all the damn windows out the garage. Oh, he was a mess. Kenya said, I mean, just 5 minutes ago, she had her a piece of man that was fresh out of jail that embarrassed her all over TV. And this is what you want to do? I guess she digmatized. I don't know. Akila said, that's terrible. Not at this big age. So then we move on. We see Drew and Ralph meeting with some producer for help on this song that they done made up. This is about to be a Motown miss, child. So they're having this whole conversation with the producer about what her goals are in terms of music. She wants to release an EP. He's trying to find out the direction she wants the music to go. What do you want to sing about? She wants to sing about everything she's been through in life and love and marriage. He said, yeah, that sounds good. What's y'all's working dynamic? How do y'all get along together in the studio? Y'all wouldn't be wasting my damn time. She said the studio is their happy place. She said she feels like it's their connection. And in the confessional, she said she feels like music has brought joy and balance to their life. Girl, child. So they decide they want to play the song for the producer for him to get a feel for Drew's sound. But rather than play the song, Ralph said, just give me a keyboard. I'll perform it for you. I said, not hijacking the moment. So they performed the song for the producer. He said he really likes it and they could maybe do an acoustic version. Next thing you know, they got big dreams of tiny desk concerts. If y'all don't sit down, tell Ralph to take this Ike and Tina Turner review and get the hell on out of our face, please. So we move on and we see Sheree going to the She by Sheree distribution center. She's checking on her investment. She goes inside. The two ladies are packaging her orders. They show her on the tablet how many orders she has waiting. And all she wants to know is why are they so wrinkled? Here we go. So one of the ladies said, well, I would suggest steaming the product before sending it to the customer just so they're not getting this big wrinkled ball of fabric. She said, well, is that going to be an extra charge? She said, absolutely. Hell yeah. You done come in here with that attitude talking. Yes, everything is a fee. Now she want to talk nice. But girl, I'm on a budget. Yeah, you can tell your attitude that and going on to Walmart and get you a damn steamer. Sheree said she was on cloud 1010 after her fashion show, but her website was on 0. She said she got so much love that the website crashed. Girl, that ain't what happened, but go ahead. She said she lost a whole lot of money and everybody and their mama had something to say. Yeah, because that shit was unbelievable. So Kenya stops by to get in Sheree's business while Sheree is finally in Sheree's business. She said, you do your own quality control or you just over here looking? Sheree said, no, I'm just checking everything out, making sure everything is up to par. Kenya said, oh, okay. Well, this show looked like a Dallas Cowboys star to me. Looked like a whole lot of copyright and trademark infringement going on to me. Kenya, Sheree said, is that the game that you just left? Kenya said, yes, it is. Sheree said, girl, well, tell me about it. Shit, if you wanted to talk about the game, that's all you had to say. So Kenya starts telling Sheree about this commercial she just shot with other housewives and a couple Cowboys players. She said, I walked on the set and I said, ooh, that's a fine man. Sheree said, yeah, well, what's going on with that man you said you were seeing? Yeah, but you ain't gonna have all the men's round here. Kenya said there's definitely a lot of chemistry there and it's exciting. I just feel good. I feel more alive. I feel ready to date. Sheree said that's what you should do. Date, live, have fun. Kenya said, well, speaking of relationships, you out here claiming that man? Sheree said, no, we're dating. It's the same thing. Kenya said, no, I think it's a little more than dating. Kenya said, so y'all got a lot in common. Sheree said, we do. Kenya busted out laughing. Sheree said, we do. I mean, we're the same sign. His birthday is 2 days after mine. Girl, child. She said, we're both Capricorns. Kenya said, well, that's strange because I normally get along with Capricorns. I don't know what's wrong with that little goat you got. Sheree said, well, let's talk about what happened the other day. Kenya said, I was shocked because I wasn't coming for him. Sheree said, it didn't have to go there. Kenya said, well, at what point did I deserve to be cursed out? That's the part I want to know. Sheree said both of y'all got elevated. Kenya said, well, what happened was he DM'd me. And the reason I didn't accept the DM is because I've watched his show and I didn't care for how things went down between he and his wife. Sheree said, well, I think you actually would get along with him. He was offended because he was excited to meet everybody and he felt like he was ambushed. Well, what did he expect? Now, low-key, if you know you done been in some of everybody's DMs, don't be shocked when people start comparing notes and telling their girlfriends, girl, you know he been over here. Like, Kenya said, well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know him and I don't want to get to know him and that's it. Sheree said, Kenya, we've talked so many times and not one time did you ever say, Sheree, this happened. Kenya said, well, I didn't think about it until I saw the two of you together. Now, Kenya, that's some bullshit. Because you've been seeing the two of them together and you've been telling everybody but Sheree. Sheree said, well, let me go ahead and let you know. I already knew about the DM. He showed it to me a long time ago. And you were over there saying, oh, it was something about 6 months ago. That's why I just played it cool because I knew you were full of shit. She said in the confessional that when she and Martell met, they talked about everything. And he divulged to her that he had DM'd Kenya at some point, which is why she just played it cool and coy with her. I said, girl, what did he say? Kenya said, but it was before you. Sheree said, yeah, so why bring it up? Kenya said, but what was so offensive to him that he felt the need to curse at me? Sheree said, I really think you would like him. Kenya said, girl, that man was so disrespectful to me. Sheree said, are you kidding? You were too. Sheree said, y'all ambushed the man. Kenya said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's bros before hoes. Sheree said, don't you mean hoes before bros? She said, no. We the bros, he the hoe. Sheree said, listen, we have to be careful with our words because you can't be saying all kinds of things. Kenya said, but I wasn't disrespectful to him. Sheree said, what? She said, I mean, until he was disrespectful to me. Sheree says she's appalled at how Kenya treated Martell. She feels like Kenya should be taking accountability for her actions, but instead she's trying to defend herself. Sheree says she's mad because she got caught, and now she wants to turn it into he's attacking her. Kenya said she wasn't even all that offended at him saying the whole, I don't care if I was trying to, it was 2 years ago. What offended her is when he suggested that she responds to everybody in her DMs that he's calling her a hoe. Well, the other bullshit is what offended me. Sheree said, I didn't hear him say that, but Sheree, he turned directly to you and said it to you in your face. Sheree thinks it's laughable that Kenya feels disrespected by that, and she said, I wouldn't have that reaction at all to somebody saying, I bet you check all your DMs. Kenya said, well, that's you. Sheree said, the problem is you're trying to make something out of nothing because nothing ever came from it. Nothing ever happened. Kenya said, yeah, but you can hold him accountable for how he spoke to me. A man shouldn't speak to a woman the way that he spoke to me, whether he's angry or not, period. It's unacceptable. Sheree said, okay, well, is it okay for you to get in his face then? Kenya said, well, yes, if I'm defending myself, yes. Sheree said, oh, okay, so when he's defending himself, it's not okay to speak. Kenya said it's okay for him to defend himself, but he doesn't have to ever be abusive. Sheree in the confessional said, okay, Kenya. So first you called Ross aggressive for defending Sanya. Now Martell defends himself and he's an abusive piece of shit. Sheree said, what is your issue with calling black men aggressive? Are they public enemy number one because you don't have one? I said, oh my damn. So Kenya is giving Sheree this speech about you have to look at your past and all the things that you've accepted from men. Kenya, right message, wrong messenger. Kenya is saying all that crazy shit that Bob was saying to you that time in the car. You haven't learned that that's a sign. Kenya said there is never a scenario where it's okay for a man to speak to a woman like that. Sheree said, and there's never a scenario where it's okay for a woman to speak to a man like that, and you just have to acknowledge that. Kenya said abuse is abuse, and you have to learn the signs. Sheree said, yeah, but you have to stop trying to label these black men and black women. Kenya said, don't try to turn this around on me. Kenya said she felt like she was defending herself because everybody else has a man. And once again, here she is out here by herself without a man and with some man talking to her crazy. Sheree said, Kenya, everybody ain't Matt, okay? She said, now what would you need to get past this? Kenya said, Sheree, we just gonna have to agree to disagree. The thing is, I feel like they both have points and then they both reach points where they full of shit. Martell had every right to defend himself against an accusation, but to go as far as even if I was trying to who you talking to? There was no need for him to get that disrespectful, in my opinion. I don't think he had to talk to her like that. Now, does Kenya need to own that she do be starting? She do be starting shit. Do they both have valid points? Yes. Is Sheree a damn fool running around here with Martell? Yes. And was Kenya absolutely messy with the way that she brought it to Sheree? Yes. It's a whole big damn mess. But that's it, that's all. And I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.